Hello, YouTube. Ziggy No back for another quick video. Listen, one of the questions I think a lot of people will ask themselves, right, is am I a collector or am I an investor when you're looking at sports cards? It seems to me like our market has been flooded with a whole bunch of investors. I mean, if you do a Google search on sports card investor, bam, you're going to light things up. You do sports card collector, you're still going to got to get information, but man, the momentum, I'd say, even if you're keeping score, the investors are definitely out in mass. So I think all of us have a little bit of collector and investor in us. And what I decided to put together is a slide that shows the 5 points that I look for in myself to see where do I lean. And I can say in my time in the modern hobby, I started very much as a collector. I love the hobby. My kids and I got into it. We collected everything. We just like to accumulate cards. We didn't sell anything for probably 2 years in the hobby. It wasn't until probably about 4 years ago that we started selling and started leaning on the investment side. And we're shocked by some of the returns on some of the cards that really, started. In fact, to be honest, it moved my kids who are collectors very much toward the investor side because kids have a very short attention span. If they can turn something that you're playing with into money so they can go out and buy more stuff, whatever that might be, that resonated for them. So first point I bring up is that, let's say you go out and you're at Target and you see a bunch of Bowman, right? Whether you're a Bowman collector or not, you see it and on eBay, it's at least 2X. You buy it, you bring it home, and then you see people ripping it. Now, are you the guy who's going to rip the sealed wax or are you going to flip the sealed wax? And this is a key differentiator between what I refer to as a collector and an investor. And I can tell you from my perspective, I know when it comes to basketball, I lean more towards the collector. I seldom will sell or flip basketball sports. I love basketball. I love ribbon basketball. I'm a big basketball fan. Now, if I find some Bowman, maybe some Prism football, I'm more likely to probably flip those boxes. I know that there's more value in sealed wax than there really is in the contents of those boxes. So I lean towards the investor side. So that's one point you can kind of think to yourself is if you have sealed wax, are you the guy who can keep it in your house for years or not? If you can, you lean more towards the investor side. If you're ripping that stuff, I consider you more a collector. The next point I look for when it comes to are you a collector and investor is information. Information is hobby is power. So if you get information, if someone gives you a tip, do you share that tip or do you keep that tip quiet? Remember, there was these old commercials when, and again, I'm not even going to date myself, but information is power is what I'll say. So I kind of think of this. I definitely lean very much to the collector side when it comes to this. Now I'm learning more as I get older in the hobby that maybe I should be quiet about stuff and not tell everybody everything, because when you tell everybody about it, right, it drives the print runs up. As you've seen with things like Project 2020, everybody knows about it, print run goes up. The people who were buying it early on were very quiet. They weren't telling you about how much money they were making, right? When you start seeing the comps on eBay, the word got out. So for example, I'll give you another quick tip. T206, right? It's out on the top site. No one's talking about it. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I will tell you, if you're on the collector side, you're more likely to share that. You're telling your buddies about your friends because, hey, you're collecting the set. Hey, man, you collecting the set too? You into this? You like T206? You like Project 2020? That's collector chat. If you're the type of guy who finds out about something like that and you're quiet, you don't want to tell anybody, or maybe you're going to sell that information, you definitely lead more towards the investor side. So I would say first two check boxes, I'm checking towards the collector side of the business. I can't, I rip sealed wax and I share information with others. The next point that I think really differentiates whether you're a collector or an investor is the stories you tell about the hobby. And what I mean by that is, do you tell stories about great hits, right? Cards that made a difference, or you got a card you traded a card to a PC and this guy got his PC card, or you found a card in your PC referring to personal collection. Those are great stories about the great hit, right? I can give you a story. I remember breaking Transcendent when it first came out many years ago, the first release of Transcendent Baseball, and I had a Ken Griffey Jr. 1/1 redemption. And man, I still remember the story. That's a great story to me. I love that story. The other side of that, if you're talking about the great flips, you're leaning more towards the investor side of the game, right? And which I do. I have an investor side. I'd say when it comes to this one, I have stories on both great hits and great flips. A great flip story for me was I remember years ago, I got 2 boxes of NT first off the line. This is back before it was super popular. I think this is it was the Mahomes rookie year, right? So great rookie year. I hit a Trubisky RPA, beautiful. I think it was number to 13, beautiful RPA. And I'll tell you, as soon as I got it, I flipped it. I wanted to sell it immediately. I sold that card on eBay for $2,000. I'm very happy about that flip, right? Got it in a box. I think the box at the time, like 500 bucks. Flipped that thing, got 2,000, covered the other box on my cards and stuff. So that to me is a great story of flipping, right? Now I will mention that card went up and that card went down. So, you know, there's good and bad with those flip stories. The fourth point I think about is when you're making a decision to buy or trade or sell, are you making it emotionally or are you making it logically, right? And I'll give you an example. Emotionally, I'm a fan of Stephen Curry, so I will go out of my way to get some Stephen Curry stuff. That's an emotional decision. I also don't like to sell my Stephen Curry stuff. It's personal to me. I like it. But logically, I can sit there and look at things like, hey, buying Zion right now or Ja is a good move. They're hot rookies, right? I think if you look at rookie classes in basketball over the previous years, following those hot rookies is a good logical move, right? Another great example, it's logical to buy numbered cards over non-numbered cards. I know people are chasing everything today and refractors are going up and, you know, base cards are going up, but still the logic says to you scarcity. In other words, numbered cards will have greater value than non-numbered cards. Another great example there is the Silver Prism. Some people love the Silver Prism because it's an emotional decision for them, right? Logically, the Hyper Prism, the Green Prism, the blue, the purple wave, those are all more rare. Red, white, and blue, more rare than the silvers, but they often don't do as well in the aftermarket as the Silver Prism does because people emotionally are attracted to the Silver Prism. So, you know, keep that in mind. For me, I am definitely more on the logical side of investing. It blows my mind, the stuff that's going on today. I don't understand why people are buying base cards, and I don't understand why they're spending so much money on certain refractors, right? But hey, that's just the logical side of me. Emotionally, people love those cards, and they're buying those cards up. The last point I bring up as investor and collector is, you know, what are you collecting for? Ultimate end game, man. When this all over, you're bringing these cards and you're buying these cards, whatever's trading these cards, selling cards. Are you doing it for the love of the game, or are you doing it strictly for the money? Right? And there's no right or wrong. I will say, I think collectors don't like to rationalize that, hey, you know, the other guy is really just looking at this as a cold, hard business decision. It's a buying, selling decision. He's not emotionally attached to that at all. I again would say I've moved more towards the collect for money than the collect for love, which I think is sad because I know when I started the hobby or restarted the hobby, should I say, about 6 years ago, I was definitely in it for the love. I don't know. I think part of that was, like I mentioned, my children, who again started with the collecting, when they started seeing the returns on selling the cards, I think it kind of soured the hobby for me as being something that was fun again, right? My kids all used to have PCs, then they sold off their PCs, and you know, they come and go as they want in the hobby. So to me, if you look at these 5 points, and these are just my 5 points, you know, you think about yourself, ask these questions to yourself. You know, do you like sealed wax? Do you share information with others? What types of stories do you tell? When you make your decisions, are they emotional, logical? You know, why are you doing this? You can kind of figure out, are you a collector or an investor? I bring that up because I think we all need to be compassionate for everybody out there, right? Don't get upset because one guy is collecting and one guy is investing. Understand there's a little bit of it in everybody. And I think that's what makes the hobby different than, say, for example, a stock market, right? I don't buy stocks because I love the stocks. I buy stocks because I want to make money, right? I think that's a key differentiator between the market, which is the hobby, and the market, which would be other, you know, other goods, right, that you might buy or sell, commodities, I'll say. So keep those tips in mind. Hope this video is useful for you. Again, if you like the videos, please subscribe. Please leave your comments. Give us a thumbs up. It helps a lot. It, you know, gives me motivation to keep doing what we're doing here. And again, I really appreciate your feedback. Have a great day, and thank you for checking out our channel.